Hi to everyone. Thank you for joining to today's webinars. Today's webinar is going to be about to introduce you all the solutions that Grecom Technologies has for the power substation monitoring. Okay, just to let you know, we are recording this session, so just for you to know, and then later on we will send this presentation to all those ones that have been that have joined the webinar or that have subscribed to it. Okay, so let's start all over. Okay, first of all, I would like to do a brief introduction of our company. Grecom Technologies is a company that is specialized on developing real-time analytics. We are very specialized on thermal imaging. Okay, that is our biggest expertise. So right now, I will say 85 to 90% of all the solutions that we have developed have been developed for thermal imaging cameras. Although we also have some solutions for optical spectrum cameras, but our biggest expertise is for thermal imaging. Okay, we currently export to 64 countries worldwide, and then the good thing about our company is that we can offer the full chain of value. Okay, so we have our own R&D department, which is responsible for developing the analytics and also to do some analytics OM for some of our key clients. Okay, and then also we can customize the solutions and the dashboards according to the requirements of each one of the projects. Okay. Also, what we do is we have an integration department which is responsible for integrating all our solutions with all the existing security systems, VMSs, or with all the new cameras that come up into the market. Okay, and then we also have the pre-sales and after-sales department, which is responsible for installing, setting up, configuring, fine-tuning all the solutions, just to make sure that they're working as the customer is expected. And then also we have the after sales and the project maintenance department, which is responsible for all for assisting any possible. Hold on here. Let me just for assisting all the projects that require some special maintenance. Okay. These are the different lines of analytics that we currently have. We have solutions for perimeter surveillance. We have solutions for safety. We have solutions for marine surveillance, traffic. We are very specialized on tunnels, on the road tunnels and railroad tunnels. Fire prevention and detection. We also have solutions, healthcare, like a screening, human temperature control on the access control. On the automation is where we have more solutions, and that is where I think is our company is aiming towards to. Face recognition, we cooperate with an American company called Safer, which we distribute their products, and then also we have our VMS, and also cooperate with another VMS company, which is called Ava Security, and then also we do some cyber security also. Okay, so let's start. Once we're done with the very brief introduction of our company, it starts with today's webinar. Okay, what is the problem that most of these substations operators are finding? Okay. First of all, there's the high labor cost, because you need to have like a large scale or labor teams or maintenance teams just to go over all the substations and supervise it and maintain it. Okay, so that is a very costly to maintain all these teams. Okay, also you have traveling expenses that is also is a big expense on the area. Okay, then also high equipment. I mean, you need to have a high volume of stock of spare parts, just in case something goes wrong, so you can solve it immediately. And then also like you need vehicles to drive around and so on. Okay, then it's very difficult to manage the the people, because I mean most of the time they're traveling, and then there is sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find out if they are doing the exact job and they're traveling or they are doing their responsibilities. Also, there is lag reaction when you have when you're not monitoring constantly these facilities, because by the time you find out any of the components or spare part of the parts of these substations not working accordingly, you already have the problem. So it's that deviates into derivates into lack of performance and then loss of money, of course. Okay. So what we are offering is we have right now 4 different solutions that we can that we think that might be very interesting for this industry. Okay, basically the idea is to monitor all the substations and then reduce the cost of all the traveling spaces, expenses, labor cost, and then also to monitor it so you can figure out, or you can find out exactly right on time or on in real time what is going on and what is happening in your substations. Okay, so we offer 4 different solutions. First of all, the access control. So we do it with face recognitions in a way that we can figure out exactly the person that is entering the facilities, at what time is entering, if that person is authorized or not. Okay, and then also what we can do is we can figure out the time whenever they leave, at what time they leave, the time that they're spending, and then also what work are they doing inside their facilities. Okay. Also, what we do is we have the perimeter surveillance just to protect the facility and also to avoid, I mean, the people jumping in and trying to steal some key materials that can affect the performance of the substation, and then also the movement or the uh, the to find out if there is any small animals inside the facility that also might create some problems with the performance of the substation. Also, what we can do is we can do the temperature monitoring, so we can monitor the temperature of all the transformers, the switches, and all the electrical components that are included into a substation. So basically here what we do is we are constantly monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week. And then what we do is we just like taking data or taking readings of all those critical components. And then what we do is we save that information into a database in a way that we can do some monitoring and tracking on how those components are evolving on a period of time. Okay, so whenever we see that there is overheating, or whenever we see that there is a failure, so basically what we do here is we automatically detect it so we can react on real time. Okay, and then also we have solutions for level control clocks in a way that what we can do is we can monitor the levels of the fuel or the oil and so on of all the transformers. So in case that they need to refuel, I mean, we can do it remotely, so you don't need to send anyone, take the reading, and make the decision. So we can monitor it on real time. Okay. So the idea will be to have like a group of substations with all this system all connected to a central control center where you can monitor these facilities, and then what you can do is you can manage and can react on real time to what is going on the substation. Okay. Out of the solutions that we introduced before for the perimeter surveillance, we propose our solution, which is the perimeter lockout. Okay. This solution it has artificial.
At this time, you're not letting him run away. You're pointing a shotgun at him, correct?
I am not.
Okay. This solution has artificial intelligence. That means that we can auto-classify all the objects that we are detecting. Okay. And then we can have a very, very, very low false alarm rate because we can discriminate animals, vegetation, light changes, shadows, and raindrops. Okay. As you know, when it's raining and the rain drops on the lens, sometimes it might create some problems. Okay. And then also the change on lights, there is vehicles moving around, or there is a substation is next to a freeway or a road, the lights of the cars also can generate some false alarms. So with all this, with this system, so what we can do is we can avoid all those false alarms, and we can have a very accurate analysis. Okay. Also, you have multiple detection rules, so you can have intrusion, line crossing, prowling, or abandoned object. Okay, so it's not just a matter of detecting when people jump into the jump the fence and get into the substation, but also it is how the people is like moving around the facilities to detect it before they try to make the robbery. Okay. This solution is compatible with all the IP cameras available in the market, with all the main manufacturers like Axis, like Pelco, Avigilon, the Huan, Hikvisions, and so on. And then right now it's integrated with Milestone, and also is integrated with our VMS. Okay, so this will be also available. Okay, right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a video where we will show how we can auto-classify all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera, and how you can discriminate, for example, animals. Here I'm gonna show you another video. Okay, this is a more large distance surveillance. Okay, here there is 4 cameras. Okay, the ones on the left, as you will see, there is very low contrast, and still we can detect the that person moving around. The one in the middle is a very shaky camera due to very windy conditions. And the one on the far right, it will be a very long range detection, something like around 400, 450 meters away. So as you can see, for example, the one in the middle is very shaky. Okay, and it still is just generates alarms by the objects that are on the field of view. It doesn't generate alarms by the shaking of the camera. Okay. The far on the right, I mean, it's a very long distance, and there is very low contrast, and still we can detect it. The numbers that you see on the overlay is the percentage of accuracy. That means when it says 0.99 is that 99% that this is a human, or this is an animal. Okay, so this is the for the thermal imaging cameras, how the solution will work. Then another of the solutions that we propose is the transformer monitor. Basically what we do here is we are monitoring key parts or key components of all the electrical components of the substation, like switches, transformers, connections, and so on. So basically what we do is we are monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week. And then what we do is we come out with the maximum, the minimum temperature, and the average temperature of each one of the detection areas that we configure for the camera. Okay. And then all that information, what we do is record it on a database, and we have like a dashboard where you can see how the those components that we are monitoring are evolving throughout a period of time, or what are the temperature thresholds that we have on a given period of time. Okay, so here the main purpose is to detect overheating components. So whenever we see that there is one component that is increasing the temperature, that it means that component or that part sooner or later is going to have some problems, and it's going to create some trouble, or make some difficulties on the performance of the substation. So the idea with this system is to anticipate to the problem and be able to repair or exchange those components that sooner or later is going to give us some problems. Okay. Discovery Plus. Hold on. So the good thing about this solution is that this is a real-time analysis and report of temperature thresholds. Okay, this is available for fixed and PTC cameras, so you can also work with PTC cameras. For this type of solutions, we always recommend the PTC because with just one camera, you can monitor multiple areas inside the substation. Okay, so it's more cost effective than rather than having just fixed cameras. Okay. Then you have a simultaneous radiation and distance configuration. This is very important to know. Not all the solutions can do this. As you know, the energy dissipates with the space. That means that an object, let's say that is about 100 degrees and is 20 meters away from the camera, is not the same that one object that is 100 degrees and 5 meters away from the camera. I mean, the closer the object is to the camera, the most accurate it will be the screening or the reading of the camera. Okay, the farther the object is from the camera, the energy tends to dissipate, and then the accuracy of the reading or the screening varies. So what we do is we have kind of like a configuration tool that, depending on how far the object is from the camera, what we do is we adjust that deviation of temperature in a way that we can have very high accurate temperature screening, and the reading is accurate, so the information is reliable. Okay, and then also what you can do is all the recordings are recorded on RAW. That means that you can access to the images or to the videos, and then you can figure out the temperature. You can work offline with over those pictures or videos because, I mean, it's being recorded with all the metadata, with all the temperature pixel by pixel. Okay, so you can do an analysis offline. Okay. Also on the face recognition, okay, this what we are offering is a solution that we can guarantee a 99.87% accuracy. This is something that has been certified by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is in the US, as you guys know. Follows all the privacy regulations, so yeah, it follows the AES 256 in REST. So, and also all the recordings and all the faces that are being recorded are encrypted in a way that no one can view it and access unless you have the also authorized credentials to access to that information. Okay, the speed of detection is less than 100 milliseconds, so it's very fast. Solution can be flexible. You can work on premise, on cloud, and you can have like a hybrid. It also works with all the main operating systems like Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. And then also it has one very key competitive advantage that it requires about 20% less of let's call it performance or processing capacity than most of the solutions that are on the market. Okay, so for the substations, what can we do from the monitoring point of view? We can do mass detection, social distances, audience management, congestion prediction, suspect detection, counting people, activity monitoring, directional analysis. That means that that you can know how the people are moving inside the facilities, and you can also generate some heat maps. And then also you can have a multi-factor authentication. That means, I mean, most of the times when people get into these premises, they're usually wearing helmet, glasses, and then right now they also wearing the mask. So sometimes it's quite difficult to identify that person. So what we did is we have kind of like a badge with a QR code, or what you do is we have like a dual factor authentication. That means that we match the badge with the face, and unless the match is not correct, we will not allow the entrance. Okay. From the facial recognition, we can do access control, VIP recognition. subscription and activation of new customers. For example, imagine that you have like a new supplier that is accessing the facilities. What you can do is you can generate the file or the ticket, and then would allow that person to access to the facility. You can have also recognition of suspects. Imagine that is one employee that is no longer working for the company, so we can immediately identify it and avoid the access to the facility. And then also what we can do is we can have the liveness and anti-spoofing notification. That means that you cannot fool the system with a picture or with a video or with an image uploaded into a smartphone or a tablet. Okay. From the analytics point of view, I mean, we can do gender, age, and facial expression, heat maps, queuing time, dwell time, and then occupation panel, and so on. Okay, so this would be all the functionalities that we can do with the face recognition and access control. Here I'm gonna show you a video with the anti-spoofing. Okay, so. So whenever you see that is detecting a face and the system detects that is a real face, you see that there is a green heart on the top of it. Okay.
Grecham Technologies, your partner in video analytics.
Okay, and then right now also we're going to introduce you our VMS platform where all these different solutions can be connected, and then we can monitor from there. Okay, so what we offer here is not just a VMS or a recording. Okay, here is a little bit more complex of a platform. We can have like artificial intelligence, and then so it has different functionalities that can also help us on the performance and monitoring the system. Okay, so we can also have like we can offer a map view. So what you can do is you can upload the map of the facility, and then what you can do is you can see people how it's moving around, and you can track them down. So to see how the people is working inside the facility and how it's moving on. Okay, and then you have the video view with the spotlight. Okay, so this is powered by deep learning. Okay, so so you can change the video streams dynamically to bring only the relevant feeds to the operator's attention. That means that if nothing, whenever something happens, automatically will pop up into the image. So you will see which camera had a detection, and then instead of like watching of all the cameras, the one it will pop up immediately. Okay. And then you have the timeline with smart presence. So that means that you can play back with a timeline. So it's very easy to go over the video and to detect whatever and search for whatever you're looking for. Also, you have the smart search. This is a solution that allows you to search by face, by gender, by color, by morphology. Let's say, for example, if it's a vehicle, if it's a human, and then also it will allow you in case that the person is wearing a short-sleeve shirt or a short or long jeans or a long-sleeve jumper. And then also what you can do is you can have multiple search criteria working simultaneously. Okay, you can have also occupancy counting. Okay, so you can know how many people can access, how many people be in premise. You can have heat maps, so you can see how these people is moving inside the facility and where they are spending more time. Okay, you can share the recordings. I mean, all the information. Once you do the smart search, then you can come up with some clips, and then those clips can be shared with with any with whoever you like. Okay. And then you have like the configuration is very simple, smart recording. In case that there is no movement, the camera will be recording on a lower resolution, so the capacity, the space capacity on the server or in the cloud, it will be reduced. Okay, and then you can also integrate it with access control systems, and then also is available with the app. Okay. Here I'm gonna show you the architecture. We have two architectures. One's we're using with on cameras. Okay, the good thing about these cameras is that they have their own the analytics, and the recording is embedded into the camera. So all that information is not sending into the cloud. Okay, it's being saved locally, and then you just access through a smartphone or a laptop or a tablet. Through the cloud, you access to the recordings, which are you connect to the camera where all the analytics and the recording is being saved. In case that you're using a third-party camera, what we need to do is we need to install between the cloud and the camera. We need to install what we call it the cloud connector. Okay, and this cloud connector is where the analytics and also where the saving hard drives are being located. Okay, and this connector is directly connected to the cloud, where we can access through a laptop or a smartphone or tablet. Okay, so here I'm gonna put you now a last video on how this solution works.
Welcome to AvaWare. Today we're going to cover search. Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or a vehicle, a line cross event where a vehicle or person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our AvaWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So, for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that out.
You're muted. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, as for the success cases, I mean, here I'm going to show you some key examples. For example, on the defense and law enforcement on the US, we have implemented the AVA-Aware and also the cybersecurity system with the FBI. With the NATO headquarters in Brussels, we have installed the human temperature screening on the entrance of the facilities. Also, we have the NATO military base on south of Spain, Rota. We do the perimeter surveillance and the marine surveillance, and also with the Spanish Navy and Air Force. We do all their military bases across the country. On the oil and gas, we have done some projects with Saudi Aramco with the flame monitoring, Repsol, which is the largest oil company here in Spain, and Cepsa, which is the second largest. We do all the perimeter surveillance of all their facilities. On renewable, we work with Excelio, which is the largest operator of solar plants worldwide, with Enel, I don't know, like Diwa, which is in Dubai, in the Emirates, Kuwait. Okay, so on critical infrastructures, we do Madrid International Airport, we do the perimeter surveillance. This is a Trillo nuclear plant here in Spain, one of the 7 ones that we have. Valencia Port, which is the largest port in the Mediterranean by container traffic. Here on telecommunications with AT&T, Etisalat, Telefónica, Spanish company, Hitachi. I see that Felipe is around here. So we work with them also. Facebook, we have done some projects with them, and also in the industry with Gestam, which is the largest automobile components manufacturer in the world with over 130 factories. We do all the perimeter surveillance and also all the monitoring of all their facilities. I don't know, with Toyota, Volkswagen, Mercedes, Benz, PepsiCo, Siemens. Okay, so these are some of the success cases. As for distributors, we work with Annexter, ADI, in the US market, also with Ingram. I think we're going to have a global agreement right now just for EMEA, ScanSource or Incomex, which I believe Incomex absorbs ScanSource. Also, we work with them. Okay. So now is the time for questions. Here you have my contact details, my telephone number and my email address. Also, in case that you want to have a demo of any of the solutions, you can request a demo on this email, on this address. And then right now you can activate the microphone, or you can use the chat in case that you have any questions. Also, the price of the license includes the setup, remote setup, configuration, fine-tuning. So it's kind of like a turnkey solution. Until the solution is not working perfectly, we will not stop supporting the setup. Right after this presentation, what we will do is we will send the copy of the webinar, the video, so you can see the link, and also a copy of the presentation for your review. So no questions? Okay, here there is one chat. Okay, if there is no more questions, what I will do is, I mean, as I said, I will send a copy of the webinar and also a copy of the presentation for your review. Okay. Okay, can we get a demo license to test this? Yes, of course, Anthony. I mean, out of all the solutions, we have demo licenses. So what we can do is we can do two types of demos. We either can run it over videos that we have in our library, or option two, we can do demos on site. That means we can give you a demo license, bring the cameras and the laptop to a real facility and do the demo on a real case. So we can do a proof of concept, no problem. And the demos are free of charge, so we don't charge for that. Okay, and then what we do is we support on all the setup and configuration just to make sure that the demo goes as expected.
Can I use? I have a different kind of video clips that I used that has like a variety of.
Yeah.
With
Yes, I mean, in case that you guys have some videos, we can run the analytics over those videos that you have recorded, no problem. Okay, so we can either use it with our videos, your videos, or we can do it on site. It's up to you.
Is it possible to have us do that? Install it, and then run add the videos in, configure it, calibrate it, you know, get more familiar with how that's done.
Yeah, definitely. What we will do is we will do some training to you guys before, so you know how the solution works, how you can configure and adjust it and calibrate it. And then after that, I mean, we can leave you the demo for 1 week, 2 weeks, or even 30 days. And then you can run the solution as much time as you like.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then do you have electric power generation clients other than the green ones cited? Yes, I mean, here in Spain, we work with Endesa and with the Iberdrola. Okay, so these are Iberdrola is one of the biggest operators worldwide. Okay, and then we do for them some monitoring of substations. I mean, most of them, we don't have the complete package, let's call it. In most of them, what we do is we do temperature screening. And then, but I mean, if it's a new client, I mean, what we can do is we can offer a large variety of solutions that can pretty much monitor everything on the substation. I think Anthony is also writing something.
What kind of what are the, I know I came in late. I was on another call. Did we go through the system requirements?
Yes, I mean, depending on the number of cameras, but basically for, let's call it, for let's put it 16 cameras. Okay, we will need a Core i7 with a 16 gigabyte RAM, Windows license, and then as a graphic card, anything over OpenGL 2.0, so it will work perfectly for 16 cameras. Okay, so
Okay.
that is, I mean, the processing requirements are not so big. I mean, if we use, for example, with the perimeter lockout, which has some artificial intelligence, definitely the processing capacity is larger. Now, for the solutions that we use with thermal imaging cameras, like temperature screening, and then also the level clock monitoring, that the processing capacity is not as big. Okay, on the face recognition, also, I mean, the resolution for that type of screening is not so big, so we will not need something very large. Okay, it will be up between what I told you. I mean, for the face recognition with 181 pixel should be enough for the screening. Okay, so just like an access controlled picture camera should be enough to identify people and be very accurate.
Okay.
Any more questions here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, in that case, thank you very much for attending to today's webinar. Okay, as I said before, here you have my contact details. And then in case that you need to get in touch with us, in the next couple of days, we will send you all the information for your review. And then in case that that you need any further, please, any further information, please feel free to contact. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Let's keep in touch.